To enable the high idle feature, one of the first things we have to do is install a switch, a physical switch somewhere on the dashboard. If you're lucky enough to have the original switch available to you or some other lighted switch, this circuitry kind of explains whenever the headlights are on, this circuit will glow the light bulb in the switch, make the switch glow, you know, like your dash should do when you turn the headlights on. But high idle, do you really need that to glow? It's not like you're going to be trying to turn that on while you're going down the highway, so I think that's unnecessary. And the run start terminal power also to a light bulb and is only grounded when the system is on. This will light up the switch when it's activated. Again, I really don't think this is necessary because as soon as you turn the parking brake off or take the van out of park, it's going to disable this circuitry anyhow. So I don't see any need to light up this switch. I'm just going to put a simple switch there and ground through the switch pin 8 on the ECM. We need a pin to go into the connector there and a simple switch to go into the dash here to a ground somewhere behind the dash. When we ground that out with the van in park and the parking brake on, the ECM should enable the high idle. Now this is a single RPM high idle, so it's going to set the speed, where is that? It is going to set the speed between 1999 and 2000 RPM. We do not have the feature here of bumping the speed up and down with the cruise control stick.
This van already has a ground screw up here, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I routed 2 conductor wire. I'm going to come up here to my switch and come down to back down to the ECM. From the ground to the switch and back to the ECM. Grab the ECM. There we go. Break it out of there. Now I should disconnect the battery before we go any farther. Battery is disconnected. Now I want the F connector, or the little one over here. That comes off. Then this is going to slide out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 7, this is 20 over here, so 8 is this one right here. So on the outside edge, second one up, 7 and 8. I'm gonna turn this over. Look, we can see inside there, right where we want to go. Let's see if I put a bend in this wire, maybe you can see it better. Right there is where we want to go. So we're going to look for the release tab that I pushed before. Yeah, which is on this side here, so naturally we need that to be poked out, because that's the way it came out before. So I'm going to bend it over this way, so release tab is out that way, and push it in to number 8. A little bit of a spoiler here, that is never going to go in there until this tab gets pulled out. I didn't know that when I started struggling with it here, but I won't make you sit and watch me suffer through it. Huh, slides right in. What the hell? Go. Not going to find many people with this tool, but there are a few of them out there around. It's a DRB3 from an old dealership somewhere, Chrysler Corporation. In addition to that, we need the PCM CIA card. Where is that guy? Here it is, down here in the bottom. CH9087. And a 9043 multiplexer cable. It is powered off the OBD port. As I understand, there are different cables available here.
And we need a CH7000. It's the only one I know how to use, only one I'm interested in. After booting up the dealership tool, we gotta click yes, DRB3 standalone, and 1998 to 2007 diagnostics, because all of our sprinters, T1N sprinters, are going to fit in there. And then down at the bottom is 202 to 2006 sprinter. Then system select, turn the key on, select engine, miscellaneous functions, configuration, air conditioning. Now we have to press save here. Then cruise control installed, ADR installed, or it's going to come up by default not installed. Turn key off, and we have succeeded. It's going to give us some instructions here to go back in and set the speed configuration now so it knows how far to adjust when you hit the cruise control up and down. Now I'll run through these last couple steps here pretty fast so you can see the whole screen. This was the way I found it with ADR not installed, so I moved out to installed and pressed enter. So now that's going to store. Got to turn the key off and on a couple of times here, waiting a couple of seconds. Just follow the on-screen prompts. And there we're successful. Now here's where it gets sticky for me. I haven't figured out what I'm doing wrong. The speed control, when you get into the minimum working speed and the maximum working speed, the permissible range is preset to 1999 and 2000 with no variation allowed there. So I'm not able to move that. Let's try it out. Start the van. Set the parking brake. Ensure the parking brake light came on. And connect the high idle switch. Cruise control does nothing. This is a single stage, high RPM. As you can see, I've got nothing on the pedal. If I let go of the switch, it idles right back down. I connect that switch again. It idles up. Now let's see what happens when we take the parking brake off. Returns to gear. Parking brake on. Nothing happens until you turn the switch off and back on. Step or foot on the brake, high idle stops. But that'll return right away when you take your foot off the brake. Foot on the brake, high idle stops. Put the vehicle in gear, and the high idle does not come back because it's not in drive, or because it's not in park. Vehicle in park, foot off the brake, no high idle until we turn the switch off and back on. Pretty handy. Ensures you never forget and leave it on accidentally. It always turns itself off if you put it in gear or turn off the parking brake. Now, since you stuck with me all the way to the end, I'll share my opinions. Maybe an exaggeration to say I'll share a little bit of knowledge, but here's why I never installed high idle on my vans before today. 500,000 miles, well, almost 1 million miles between the two of them and 17 years of ownership. I knew I would misuse it. Letting these vans idle is not a good idea. They are not 18-wheelers with cast iron engines and heads. It's a cast iron engine and an aluminum head. That does not idle well for hours and hours and hours on end. If you have to idle for 10 or 15 minutes, especially if you need high output power, like a wheelchair ramp or a wheelchair loading lift or a tummy lift, great. This is not a good idea to use this for charging your house batteries or running air conditioning while you take a nap. That is way too long to let your van idle, whether you're in high idle or not. Combustion just doesn't happen clean, and the coolant circulation doesn't produce enough pressure or flow up in the top of the engine, so you're going to melt your EGRs. And if you let it idle too long in too cold a weather, you'll do like I did back in 2008 and wake up with cracks in your engine head, the aluminum head cracks between the intake and exhaust manifold from sitting idle for, I don't know, 6 hours while I slept in the snow. Don't do it.